Radio Season 3, Episode 9.
Hello! Wow.
So many episodes.
So many episodes, and Kai has
9 whole episodes.
That's right, and Kai just informed me before we hit the record button that I have been gradually shrinking, and everyone else has been gradually growing taller. I think, DM, I have been, like, raising you up so that your face is finally above the microphone cover.
Oh,
Booster seat!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sitting in a booster seat, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so... But Kai's like, oh, Harune, he's just been getting smaller. And I was like, Girl DM is just getting bigger. Girl DM is growing. We've watered her and everything.
Gradually I overtake the world.
Just a little bit at a time, it's fine. Just a smidge at a time.
I'm gonna wait until all the viewers pause this video and replay the previous episodes to check so we can farm views.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's a good... I've never
I was lying, by
noticed
the way.
What?
I was lying, by the way.
I now want to smash your face in with a watermelon.
Listen, I know you spent like 20 minutes checking before the recording. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
So you knew I was wasting valuable time? Just so that I could be paranoid over height differences? I knew my difference didn't change.
Wow.
I knew my model was the same size every video, but I was like, oh, maybe I've like just set up Kai and DM wrong every time.
If you think I'm that attentive to details,
I'm gonna smack you.
You don't know me.
Reach my arm across country.
Wow, Kai, where's
Just
your detail orientation?
Slap your face aggressively.
I left it in bed.
I'll splash you in the face. With my aggression and my mushroom coffee. You must suffer the burns.
Do you know why Harune's house is so small? Because she doesn't need mushroom.
I actually love it. That is the best joke I've heard. It's incredible. All right, friends. So, this is the penultimate season finale.
That means second to last episode.
That's right.
I liked it better when it sounded like Ultimate. It sounded cooler that way.
That would be the final one.
Yeah. There's penultimate, and then do you call it the ultimate if it's the end?
Isn't it the finale?
The finale?
The finale.
Well, we don't. I don't live in that province, Kai. So.
Yeah, me neither. It's okay.
Oh, goodness gracious. But this may also be the series finale, right? We aren't super certain if GHK will continue after season 3 without the H.
Well, we certainly haven't found a replacement H.
You'll have to find another VTuber with. Well, you have. Wait, is Harune Swift still around? I don't think so.
We're just gonna go through and search on.
Literally
on
look
Twitter.
for any H.
Yeah, or you could get Haruka Caribou.
Yeah,
if she'd be interested.
We'll just go down the. You know what? Every week we'll have a different guest, but their name starts with H.
Oh gosh.
There we
go.
Get Hikaru. It doesn't have to be all girls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Well, we've possibly came up with future content ideas, but because of that sort of line of thinking, the fact that season 3 is coming to an end and possibly the series as well, it got me thinking a little deeply yesterday. And I had a couple of friends and family over, and we were sort of reminiscing, and one of my friends is in from out of town, and then she's shortly leaving again, and just when you haven't seen someone for a long time and after you've caught up for a while, you kind of get into deep talks.
Oh, okay, right? Can I just quickly ask, like, you guys were reminiscing about your life, right? It wasn't you and your family and friends reminiscing about GHK Radio.
No.
I was like, wait, do you all just like sit around once a week listening to it together?
No one listens to GHK in my family or my friends. No one, no one knows what I do.
No, they don't know you're a VTuber.
Or like my parent. Oh my gosh. Well, I've talked about this before, but Mama and Papa Rene, they know. And Nemurenai asks I think without fail, every week I've seen her for the last almost 4 years. She's asked me when I'm stopping.
Ooh.
She's like, so when are you going to be done doing that streaming thing?
Oh no!
Well, mother dear, the wait is almost
You'll be
over,
pleased to hear.
No, she straight up was like, oh, when you're finally done with all that stuff, we'll throw a party.
Oh my
All
god.
that stuff.
Oh my god.
All that stuff, you know.
Cold-blooded, like...
All that stuff.
Who needs online haters when you have Mamarune?
Yeah, she, but she's also the one who, like, YouTube spams me. Like, will just send me constant, like, 5-minute hack videos that are, like, they clearly don't work and they're terrible. And she's like, wow, look how resourceful. Like, all these things we can do with a bottle cap. And I was like, no one does these things with a bottle cap. But anyway.
Apologies, mother, but this is...
Apologies, but I will not be watching any video you send me. You call it all that stuff.
I don't think my parents will ever not call it making cartoons.
But at least that's cute.
So are we meeting for lunch on Sunday? Are you making cartoons that morning? I'm like,
Aww.
I'm making cartoons. We've got 2 more Sundays. I can't do anything.
Wait, we all right, listen here, sir.
Mm-hmm.
We gave you an out.
We did.
We said you didn't have to make cartoons today.
Oh no, I met them last night. That's fine.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah,
just making
yeah.
sure.
I just schedule around streaming activities. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Well, so my question, I'll start today if you guys don't mind.
Whoa, go ahead.
I would like to ask you guys on a very deep and personal level, what makes you happy?
Wow, that is deep.
Raindrops on roses and
No! No, but like...
and kisses from kittens.
You mean whiskers on kittens?
Shut! I couldn't remember the lyric. All right, leave me alone. Now I'm not happy. That doesn't make me happy anymore.
No, this doesn't
Does not spark joy. Does not spark joy.
Let's see. I think one of the things that's like one of my niche things that makes me really happy is because I'm the type of person that like when I'm not feeling good, I do like the sick cat thing, which is like I completely retract from everybody and like don't interact and stuff.
Yes.
But one of the things that makes me really happy is like when somebody like reaches out to me for something.
I feel that.
Which I've had like thankfully like I have good friends now that do that. Like they'll notice or they'll just like send me a message and be like, hey, check it in. And I'll just be like, oh my God. Because like growing up, I didn't really, that didn't really happen that much. It was just me on my own on stuff. And so like I got used to doing stuff by myself because of that. And like, it makes me really happy. Like I just got invited to do some stuff with a friend like later in the year. And they were like, we need another person. And we were like, hey, what about Luna? And I was like, what about Luna?
I'm Luna. That's me.
I was explaining this to some friends last night because I was just like really excited. I was like, oh my God, they're like, what about Luna? I was like in Hamilton when he's like, I was chosen for the Constitutional Convention.
Yeah.
my mental state.
Oh my gosh, is that in a GIF?
Yep. That's just me being like, oh my God. So like when somebody thinks of me and invites me for something, that always makes you like really, really happy.
I totally get that too. Because like I'm admittedly very, very bad at like keeping in contact with people. It's like I'm very much the type of friend who's comfortable checking in with people like once a year to make sure they're still alive, and I'd still consider them like best friends. But it's like I know that it appears to people that if I don't really reach out to them, like they don't really reach out to me. So when somebody bothers to like remember me and like contact me or invite me to things, it's like, oh, my heart.
Aww. So Kai, would you say that's your answer as well, or do you have something
I would agree with DM's answer, but I was still thinking if I had one for what makes me happy.
Like on a deep, like, cleansing level almost.
I think what makes me happy is when what I want and what the person like I'm with wants lines up.
Oh.
If that makes sense, because oftentimes I'll use my family as an example for something very mundane, but it's like where we go for dinner or something like that. It's like usually if there is a choice to be made, everybody has an idea of what they want. I am quick to just forfeit my choice for the other person's. So when what they want happens to coincide with what I want, like without having that internal conflict of like I'm giving up what I want for what they want.
Yeah.
That generally is a rare moment where I'm like, yes, today everybody wins.
That was like a Kip yes from Napoleon Dynamite. Like,
Yes. Yes. But no, yeah, like that's just like on top of the whole friends remembering me thing that DM was talking about. This is a bit more of a selfish happiness, I guess.
But that's okay. Like when it comes to your own happiness, I think it ought to be something a bit more selfish. Like, I mean, if someone says like, "Oh, what makes me happy is when other people are happy," it's like, sure, like of course you want to be around people that are happy, but can you really say that your happiness is only completely derived by like other people's? Like if, like you said, Kai, if something that you want doesn't align with what the people around you want and you immediately step back, like does that bring you joy? Like is that really what you want, or are you just used to giving up, you know, like in that way? I had a hard time answering this question even yesterday. I was like, I don't know what makes me like deeply happy. Not that I'm incapable of feeling deeply happy. I just think I've just never really given it a ton of thought. So for me, deep happiness kind of intertwines with being deeply at peace. And when I can sit back, whether it's, well, it doesn't have to be sitting back. If I can do something and know that I have all the time in the world and I have nothing that, you know, requires my pressing attention or any sort of like uncomfortable commitment, you know what I mean? Like something that's like, okay, well, it's something that I agreed to do and I have to do it for work, but I really don't like to, or I don't like communicating with these parents, or you know what I mean? Like if I can just, like, for example, like if it's a beautiful day and I get to go for a walk and I know that I can spend all day on just taking this walk, like that makes me happy and at peace. If I can sit outside and just zone out, you know, like that makes me deeply happy. Or if I'm just like lying on the couch, like it doesn't even have to involve being outdoors, but I think like if I can just know that my time is spent just for me, I have no pressing concerns, that makes me happy, I think.
Yeah, so it sounds like you just really enjoy like personal time and
Yes.
really dislike time constraints from commitments.
Yes. But I guess that's everybody, right? Like, although I guess I shouldn't say that. There are some people, and I'd be curious to know if you know people like this in your own lives, who actually thrive on being really busy. Like they actually become unhappy if they don't have a full schedule of things to do.
Yes, I know somebody that that is a family member. Yeah,
I had an old college classmate / friend, and we're close friends, who's like that, and I've never met someone like that before, and it was kind of insane.
Not
she
to
goes crazy.
that.
Yes,
Ooh.
exactly. Go ahead, Kai. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. But not to the degree you're describing, but I'm like that to an extent in that I prefer having everything with a clean deadline as opposed to having everything open-ended.
That's fair.
Because it gives me
I like clean
direction.
deadlines, yes.
Yeah, it gives me a direction of like how to order my tasks. Like I know this is a priority because this is due next week, but
Right.
this is due in 2 months, so I can
For
properly
sure.
organize my tasks, kind of thing. When everything's like, oh, you can do this in your own time whenever you. It's like if everything's like that, I can never decide what to do first, and then everything just drags on.
That makes perfect sense. And I think when it comes to like set tasks, I would definitely be the same way.
Yeah.
I just like it when I don't have any tasks, or if I've finished all my tasks and it's like, oh, now, or like this time that I previously used to have committed to X, Y, and Z is now free for me to do as I choose. Like that's exciting for me. Like that's something that I look forward to, is like getting past a certain point so that like I all of a sudden have this newfound freedom.
So you're looking forward to retirement, like for real.
I mean, I will be sad and I will miss it, and there will be tons of things that I will be sad about, but I am also looking forward to like being able to sleep in and
I meant
being able to...
age 65, like retire from everything.
Oh my god, I thought you meant retire from VTubing, and I was like...
I'm so sorry to inform you of this, Kai. If you're not aware, Harune's graduating.
I know, but like it sounds like you're just looking forward to like actual retirement from like everything.
Actually, no. I think, and I would be curious to see people's thoughts in the comments, and of course, my co-hosts here. But like,
I'd be shocked if we have a listener of retirement age.
Well, no, but I mean, like,
be.
there are some people who like kind of live with that mindset of grind, like the Sigma grind set, so that you can retire early, and then they feel like they can start to enjoy their life. Like everything is towards this end goal of retirement. I have a friend who's kind of like that. Like their goal currently is to make as much money as they can so that they can retire early. But they also do make sure, because this is the thing that makes them deeply happy, is travel. So the part of the conversation was like, oh, do you feel like you could live anywhere, or do you feel like you kind of have to live around a support system or live by your family and friends and stuff? And they were like, it doesn't matter where I live, because I'd never be home. I'd either be working or I'd be traveling. So wherever they live really doesn't matter. But yeah, I know there are people who like their whole sort of identity around their 20s and 30s, and when they're entering the workforce is, I'm just gonna put my nose to the grindstone, work for 40 more years or whatever, and then retire, and then I'll have a beautiful pension, I'll have, whatever the heck, and just set up for a great retirement, and then I can live my life.
So they can start living their life at 65.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know if I agree with that. I think you're wasting away the best
your
physical
youth
years
and your ability
Yeah.
to like go do stuff.
Right. Like if you're like, oh, when I retire, I'll finally get to go to Antarctica. It's like, well I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Antarctica. I meant Alaska.
I want to go to Antarctica. Grandma's going to Antarctica, boys.
Wants to
Grandma,
go me.
no.
Grandma, I don't think you understand. No.
I'm going to Antarctica to see the polar bears.
What a fiery grandma we got here.
I mean, I'm sure there's a grandma out there, but you know what I mean? It's like, well, I don't know if Alaska's for you, Grandma, at this point, but like, had you like taken your yearly vacations or something, like worked hard, but just worked hard enough to like live comfortably, but then still be able to afford some travel, like you could have done that in your youth, What is your guys' mindset about like working and retirement.
So
go ahead. You first.
for me at least, when I was growing up, we were on food stamps. So
That's
my
hard.
mentality towards stuff is, oops, I hit the murder button on accident.
I was gonna say, are you just in a murder mode?
When did that happen? That's been a
Genki,
while, I think. Genki mode. Wow, murder button.
She just had some jelly on her face. It's okay.
Just a little bit. I was snacking during this. It's fine. So yeah, when I grew up, we were just like, any travel that we could do really was if we were just driving to visit a family member and we had enough, we could afford the gas for the trip, essentially. So for me, for like doing stuff, my mentality has always been that if you have enough money to keep living and then you have enough money to do something else, why not do the other thing? Because you can bank on like, of course, like make your plan for like putting money in for retirement and stuff, but you never know what can happen. So like,
yes,
there's no point in just Scrooge McDucking all of the stuff, because like if you're just like, oh, eventually I'll do this, and what happens if you don't get to your eventually?
Yeah, and I think like that's certainly the mindset that I was brought up in, because Papa Harune did not ever expect to have children. Like he had me late in life. And around the time that I was born, he, you know, like I said, like before knowing Mama Harune was expecting, he was like, oh, I'll probably never have kids. So he never saved for like a college fund. He never saved with the expectation of providing for a full family. So he didn't start saving until after I was born. So Mama Harune came from sort of the opposite, where she came from like the countryside, and had a large family, like many siblings, and the whole family was always involved in whatever, you know, money-making enterprise. And but it was never easy, and like I said, everybody was involved. And so Mama Harune was the scrimp and saver. Papa Harune was the, you know, I'm living my youth up and I'm gonna do what I want, buy what I want, buy the toys that I want. And so, you know, this massive saver and this massive spender constantly was at war when I was growing up, because it was like, Papa Harune wants to go do things and you can't enjoy doing things unless you spend some money. Mama Renee's like, no, you didn't save anything, so now you have to save everything. So I was brought up on the mindset of like not doing anything, but now into like my adult years, I've had to make the conscious and almost uncomfortable decision to be like, I'm actively going to choose to take this trip, knowing that it'll be, it's more money than I normally would spend on something, but knowing that I'm probably not going to regret it while I'm there, and I'm certainly not going to regret it when I come back, and I can still afford the things that I need to live. So why not if I can?
Right?
And that's sometimes a hard hurdle to jump over.
Well, because it is definitely, but I think one of the things that's helped with me is that I and my family have experienced, like, if you are completely out of everything.
Right.
And it's like, I've done this once before. I know I'll be okay if it happens again.
That's
Don't want it to happen again.
too.
No, but it's not the end of the world if it happens. So
right. That's
you don't have that.
right?
You don't have that fear of the unknown of what's going to happen. It's like, oh, I know what's going to happen.
It's like,
I can
oh, this is what
for
happens when you're completely out of money. This is what happens. And it's like, all right.
And this is how you deal with it. Kind of. You have that like preparation, I guess.
Right.
And so, like, having that mental understanding on things can make it easier for, like, being more frivolous. Well, not necessarily frivolous, but like making purchases on things that maybe you wouldn't have done if you were in a fully save mindset. But my mindset goes to the, if I'm watching like a YouTube video and I'm like, dang, I want to do that. for like travel or something, and I have somebody that is down to go with me because I'm not going to travel solo and do that, then I don't feel conflicted booking the trip.
Right. You're like, yeah, you've got that cushion of like previous experience.
Yeah, that mental cushion of even if it goes to south and goes to crap, I think I'll be okay. Is pretty much what.
Yeah, and that's a good thought to have. That's very comforting. What about you, Kai?
I also am in the train of thought that it's best to have a good balance of work and play, I guess, because I grew up with parents who are thankfully, like of normal, middle class-ish standing, but that they're like relatively frugal.
Yes.
They don't do big spendings, and they've kind of instilled in me it's like not to be wasteful, I guess.
That sounds like Mama Renee.
I would even go so far as to say they probably lean more towards the like, not the Sigma male grinds that you were talking about. Like it's like the all work until like 65, just grind, no time to play. No, like they're like slightly on that side, but like I wouldn't say exactly like that side. But it's kind of like I've had acquaintances and like family members on both ends of the spectrum.
Really? Okay.
Like
that's
I know people my age who travel all the time. They spend maybe 2 months of the year in home base, as they call it, like their hometown, and the rest of it they're just like all over the place, and they don't have a dollar saved. They're like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to afford a car. I'm never gonna be able to afford housing.
Oh my god!
They just like jump from plane to plane to plane, and that's it.
Where do they live?
That's the home base is their parents' home.
Oh,
so like 2 months of the year they stay with their parents, and the rest of it they're just abroad. And I'm just like,
I was under the assumption that you said that they spend 2 months out of the year living in whatever home like that they own. But then you said, oh, I'm probably never going to afford housing. I'm like, but wait, then where do they live?
Yeah, they have like an online job, so they just like they're backpacking like 10 months of the year working out of like a McDonald's in Greece or whatever.
Holy crap! Like that's there's part of me that loves that, but then there's another part of me that's like, what's like you there is no future thought.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I can't imagine myself having a car or a home or like a family. Like they've given up the prospect of getting married. They're like, no one's gonna marry me. Da 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 da. They're just like, I'm just gonna enjoy my life until it ends. I'm like, goodness gracious me.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna go out with a bang like that, like I guess.
Like, at the same time, I've had friends who like, ever since graduating school, I've never seen again because they're just always working. They're like, I'm just gonna grind. I'm saving up. All the money I earn, I'm investing it back. They're like 28 and they've got arthritis because they're always hunched over the computer, and it's like haven't seen the sun in like 3 years, and it's like they're just like, oh, it's gonna be so sweet when I hit 65, and I'm like,
oh no. You will not feel that way at 65.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, I feel like it's not that I'm saying don't work hard, but I'm saying like you don't have to like min-max your job. You don't have to like optimize your day-to-day around making money. I think if you're able to get a decent job with a decent income and then like manage it smartly so that you have enough for your day-to-day necessities, you have enough for a bit of a rainy day fund in case anything happens. Because like,
I think it was like what if you to consider yourself in like a decent position is to have like a set amount that you're putting towards your retirement every month, and then have like a 5-month cushion for emergency funds. So if anything does happen, then you can like handle stuff before you start having to dip into your overall like savings, right?
Exactly. So like recreational funds, like I'm not the type to spend a lot on recreation, Like, we're talking maybe like, oh, I'll buy a Steam game once a month or something like that. Like, it's like, a couple, like, 50 something, 60 something dollars every now and again, $100 to go out and like have a outing with friends like now and again is fine, but it's not like I go out partying every weekend. So it's like at least enough where you could still enjoy your life in the now. But like don't go crazy in either direction, I think is a good thing.
Yeah. Don't deprive yourself of enriching life experiences just because you think you're going to get all of that when you retire. And also don't spend every penny you have. Also have some foresight for the future.
Exactly. Like I said that my parents were a bit more on the thrifty end. Like a lot of the times their decisions are driven based on like what can save them the most money. They're like they'll like, well we could just like downgrade to this because it's cheaper or or like they'll abstain from certain things because it's like, oh, it's too expensive. Let's save the money instead for in case in the future or whatever, like for something big in the future. But then like we've had some like family related health scares here and there from like people we know. I think that kind of like changed their perspective. They're like, tomorrow's not promised. So they're like,
enjoy today.
If we get the opportunity to spend time with family and enjoy it in the now, then they would prefer treasuring those memories over like
treasuring
a bit more money in the bank kind of thing.
Well,
so now
the other thing is that like your perception of time is also skewed based off of how repetitive things are.
Yes.
So if you're going through and you're following the same routine of like go to work, blah, 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 it makes you feel like time is going really, really fast. So if you're taking the time to make sure you like find other experiences and opportunities, and they don't necessarily have to like cost much either. It also gives you like this feeling of look at all the things I'm doing, right? Instead of like, where did the past 4 years go, right?
Yes. And it's funny because some of my like young kid students, like still in elementary school, are telling me that time is flying by really quickly. And I'm like, oh my God, when I was in elementary school, time dragged. I could not like it felt like an age before summer vacation or the winter breaks or anything like that. And for a 5th grader to tell me that time is flying was almost a little sad. Like I was like, how monotonous is your life, your 5th grade life, that you every day doesn't feel like an age of every life form on the planet. Like, I don't know. I just remember my childhood years feeling so long.
Sigma baby grind set. Every day, wake up, crayons, apple slices, go, go, go.
But like,
nap time.
I kind of
Back
wonder
to go,
though.
go,
like,
go.
I think, and we're going a little bit on a tangent here from. Well, I guess we have tangented from the original topic, but a lot of my students do have that really like super packed. Every hour of every day, some sort of, it's like school and then some sort of extracurricular activity, homework, dinner, bed. Yeah. And they do that forever.
Yep.
And I feel so bad. Like, when are these kids going to have a chance to just eat dirt and imagine stuff? You know what I mean? Like, when do you develop your imagination? When you don't have that time to, like, create a world of your own or like play make-believe or something, like, I don't know. We're going off on a whole different topic, but it's the idea that your day feels time seems to slow, I should say, when you are finding different things to do every day that kind of just pull you out of the norm of your regular schedule. You know, even if something as simple as today I'm going to take a walk, or even if it's I'm taking a walk, but I'm going to go a different route today, just something to break up the monotony, can put a tangent on your timeline and make it feel a little more lengthy. But yeah, I don't know how we got here, but deep thoughts. Deep thoughts and opinions.
You were asking about the roots of happiness.
What
That's
makes
true.
you happy?
What makes you deeply happy and at
Deeply
peace?
happy.
And then we
Yeah.
went from there. Also, some life and just money management hacks from DM and Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure you got
Cut your money into more pieces. It'll go farther.
That 5-month cushion is not
do
bad
not do
thought.
the destroying legal tender is actually a crime. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't
Just,
actually.
any listeners don't just rip a dollar bill thinking it's funny. Like that's actually a crime.
Yes.
I don't know if I knew that, but I've also never ripped $1. But
You did because I told you that last week.
Oh, that's right, you did. But before that, I don't think I knew that, and I thought you were kind of kidding.
I know that is actually like your money is a government
doesn't belong to
property.
you, yeah,
It's a
it doesn't
government
belong to
property that you are lent.
Yes.
You own the dollar value, but the dollar coins and the dollar bills
It's
is
like a physical
government
NFT.
property. So
Yes.
destroying it technically would be destroying government property and is a crime. I'm saying if you accidentally rip a dollar bill, pulling it out of your pocket, that's not like no one's going to chase you for that. But it's like intentionally,
If you stand there and you like, right?
yeah, like intentionally standing there destroying physical currency is a crime.
This is a
Yes.
PSA, everyone. Please don't rip your bills. Don't do it.
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 All right, so that was my topic.
Wow.
Wow. My topic.
Oh, good. I didn't want to go next after that.
Jesus.
My topic. I've already put it into the group chat. I was offering it to Kai, but he respectfully turned down the topic, so I'm taking it.
I'm so excited.
So, in streaming news.
Yes, let's go.
In streaming news, China has banned women modeling lingerie on online shopping live streams, which are a pretty big thing. Like in China, is like having just video things. You'll see like the on YouTube maybe in your recommendations them being like, look how fast this woman changes clothes and her poses and blah blah blah. But like they're in China, they have these live streams that they model the clothing,
Mhm.
and the offenders. The reason why they're doing this is because they're saying that this is obscene material.
Obscene
which,
material.
I
Obscene
mean,
material. It's obscene that they are doing that.
We've seen this song and dance before.
Yes.
Right? Like
Yeah. Like
we all know there's a balance of like some online content creators
yeah.
utilizing sex appeal in their brand and
Yeah, but
the
since
problem some people find with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the companies though, they are lingerie companies, and so it makes sense that they're like showing the modeling of it. Like we have Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
And you have like that is televised when they're doing like the big
fashion
walk-ons
show,
with
yeah.
the fashion shows, right?
Yeah.
And so in China, they've banned this. So in order to get around that,
They only banned women.
only banned women, so they've started to hire male models.
Let's go.
And so it's just pretty funny because they said, personally, we don't have a choice. The designs can't be modeled by our female colleagues, so we will use our male colleagues to model it. One
so
of the businesses said. But the other thing is that people are complaining as well, saying that it's taking jobs away from women, that the government is doing this.
What?
So I just thought that was very entertaining. These streams have been starting since December, and pretty much since
wow.
it is mandated that they can't have women doing this because the stream will get shut down and they'll get fined and charged with distributing obscene material if they have
Uh-huh.
women wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
is just crazy.
So it's been going on for about 3 months then.
Mm-hmm.
And has there been, I mean, at this point, I think it's enough time has passed to gauge the stats. How has that been going? Do you know? Like, has it been largely successful, or is it
I
just
haven't-
good, like, meme content?
I mean,
It doesn't look like there's been much like info on it thus far, but like
just skimming the article that DM linked, it sounds like it's popular enough to a degree that after it started trending, other large companies started kind of picking it up as a marketing tactic.
Incredible.
Yeah. Pardon me while I skim.
Yeah, they don't really have any like statistics or anything on.
Yeah,
there.
there's no hard numbers.
The business owners are just like the government told us that we can't do this, so we're doing it this way. That's it.
And there's been no government kickback from that. Like, hey, you took our words and you misconstrued.
not that
what
I've
we
seen
did.
yet. Not that I've
Okay.
seen yet on there.
Yeah.
That might be an opportunity for more research, but it's just like it's entertaining.
Because according to this, it seems like this thing called live stream shopping is a much bigger thing in China than in other countries. Where
Yeah.
So it's like, you know how it's like we sometimes have those like sponsored streams where we'd kind of like, promote something, but it's like the purpose is just kind of like to attract attention to it. But it's not like the whole point of the stream isn't to sit down for 90 minutes, kind of like touting a certain product and watching people buy it in real time kind of thing. That seems to be more of a thing in China. And so it says, it seems that what began as a witty scheme has evolved into a marketing strategy that has enabled certain businesses to distinguish themselves from the numerous other e-commerce shops selling lingerie.
Incredible. I love that for them. And hooray to these male models who are like, yeah, I'll wear it, whatever. Clothes are clothes.
Yeah, pretty much. I saw that article, and the first thing that I thought of was like on Twitter when people were like, "Put the cat ears on."
Cat ears on.
I just thought it was interesting and resilient.
Yeah, it's good to see some bite back too, in a humorous way.
Malicious compliance.
There we go.
That's the mentality I see behind it, and I think malicious compliance is funny.
I like that. I like that term. How do you feel like that would go over here in the States? Or even in Canada, because that's more for you guys. North America.
I'm not actually certain. I could see some people having issues with it.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you go into... I think the main issue would be if it's, like, people wearing clothes that, quote-unquote, aren't representative of their gender.
Right. I mean, like, in the
think would be the
simplest of
issue.
terms, it is cross-dressing. Like,
Yeah.
it is male presenters on these Chinese live streams, like, dressed in lacy baby dolls and stuff like that, which, I mean, all the more power to them. But it's like, it'll go about as well as cross-dressing does now in North America, I guess. Like, there's going to be the online communities that are super into it. They'd be like, all the power to them, super empowering. And then there's going to be the communities that take issue with there being males wearing lacy baby dolls.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
I just think it's funny to see the guy wearing like lingerie. He definitely has padding in. I don't know if it's just like, I know like Asian lingerie, like Asian underwear often for like bras and stuff will have a lot more padding.
Mm-hmm.
I never even once considered that.
Yeah,
that makes me so sad.
In Japan, like there's a couple of brands, like, because I lived in Japan, right? And I would go through the shops and everything, and every single time it would be like, this is a B cup, and then me and my friend would like pick it up and be like, this is literally like a B cup of padding in it. It's not. It's not actually.
It's not for B cups. It's to make a B cup.
Yeah. So just various things like that, and some of them like had removable padding and stuff. And just sitting here and like, wow, they're going hard on chicken cutlets. Like,
oh no, oh no, oh my gosh! But you know what? With the pictures that came with the article, at least the one picture that I saw, they look great. Like,
yeah.
They're killing it. They're owning it.
Yep.
They look elegant and lovely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they also did pick, like, I don't want to say androgynous. I don't think these are like more androgynous models. Like, you can clearly tell that they're males with like their Adam apples and everything. It's like, because we know, like, there are more usually. Wow, I can't talk at all.
That's
like
more usually is the exact two words I would put next to each other. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like more often there are Asians who look. Asians have a more like androgynous look to them.
Yes, they're more effeminate in comparison to the rest of the world's view on male look.
It's like you don't have, I'm just going to use Caucasian example. You don't have a Caucasian man with like a lot of like chest hair and like really bulky body. Like this is still like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Although that exact mental image is what I would hope to expect if something like this did come to North America. Like I would want to see lumberjacks like
in a lacy onesie.
So what you're saying is Lady Beard is the ideal.
Yes! Let's go.
But just to be like, especially if there was not saying that any government, any self-respecting government would be like, no women can advertise lingerie anymore. Like not with that, but even if it was just like as a marketing tactic from a lingerie company, to be like, we sell things for men and women, but it doesn't have to be just, they're not mutually exclusive. Like here's a man in our women's clothes, like. Yeah. I think that would be entertaining. I would find it funny at the very least. But
that does lead me to a thought.
Let's go.
Uh-oh, Kai's thinking again.
Uh-oh, we told you about this. Don't hurt yourself.
VTubers would be in on this.
I think there already are some.
Like if they ban women from advertising lingerie. I just thought, like, if a company hired, like, a relatively popular VTuber and just commissioned, like, an illustration of that VTuber in the lingerie, they don't even have to physically show off the product, just having an anime image.
But
I feel
some
there are
do that,
quite a few
VTubers.
There are quite a few people who would go on based off just the animated image or, like, the illustration.
But no!
But the problem with like with it being an animated image over something is that it doesn't actually depict the actual perspective of the outfit.
That is true, but I mean, 100%, I guarantee they're probably going to be hitting a slightly different market. There's going to be people that buy it based off of just the illustration.
How it looks, yeah.
I agree that there are going to be people who fall for that, but I couldn't see it being successful overall. Yeah.
I feel like it would. I feel like it could work.
But you wouldn't know how it actually sits or fits.
As a person who's definitely fallen for anime-themed advertisements, I can listen. It wasn't buying lingerie; it was Dr. Pepper.
Well, all right. Well, that doesn't. It didn't advertise how it'll fit down your gullet, like. No,
I tasted Dr. Pepper and I hated it, and then I watched an anime girl really like it, and I'm like, now I want Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
And I've been brainwashed ever since into liking Dr. Pepper.
Wait, is there a Dr. Pepper shake out right now?
No idea.
Not in Canada.
I thought I saw some. Was it Nane? Did Nane tweet about a Dr. Pepper?
I do remember seeing Cottontail tweet about it. So
okay,
I think it is a thing. I just don't think it's a thing. If Cottontail,
is that really like? Is that really like a new thing? Like, hasn't anybody ever had Dr. Pepper with ice cream before? Like a root beer float or a Coke float?
Pepper float?
Yeah, like a pepper float. A Dr.
Is
float?
that what they call it?
I don't like Dr. Pepper that much, so I haven't. But I've had root beer floats. I like root beer floats.
I love root beer floats. I love Coke
didn't
floats.
like Dr. Pepper until I saw an anime girl like it. And then I'm like, man, I kind of like Dr. Pepper now.
Wow, I can't believe that Kai has forced himself to change his palette based off of an anime character.
Amazing how convincing anime is to Kai's perception.
Yeah.
You simple fool.
Yeah. Listen, if there was an illustration of DM wearing Tommy Hilfiger, I'd probably start buying more Tommy Hilfiger.
Oh God, no, please. I don't want to support that company.
What's a brand you would never get caught dead wearing?
Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, really?
I'm joking. I don't generally pay attention to brands, but I was talking to a friend and we were just talking about like brand name items, and then I realized that I don't actually own anything that's like brand name stuff. Like I don't have anything that's Gucci or Versace or Louis Vuitton or anything. I don't have any of those like big name brand things for anything.
Because it's overrated, but we could talk for like another hour about that.
Well, it is overrated, but I know so many people that have like at least one item of brand something.
Is true.
And I was just sitting here being like, I have none.
I do have one brand item, but only because that was what I found to fit me.
Okay. What do you got?
Like 90% of my closet's from Old Navy, which is like super for anyone that doesn't know what Old Navy is. It's just like the super affordable like budget clothes shopping.
Oh my God, Kai.
But my sunglasses are from Ray-Bans.
Noise.
So.
Wow, he's got them Ray-Bans.
I got them Ray-Bans.
That is hilarious, actually, because I have a family member whose closet is also 90% Old Navy. And
Let's go!
I make fun of them for it all the time.
Let's don't go, no.
But their sunglasses are also Ray-Ban.
Oh my God, so DM's family stole my dream and your family stole my wardrobe.
Yep. Kai, you really need to become more original.
Oh my God. No, it's so funny. Wait, so DM, you have, so maybe not in articles of clothing or like items that you're able to tout around, but you do have like a name, like a brand name item. You do have a Dyson.
I do have a Dyson. Yes.
I'm still thinking of clothes, and I'm just imagining her like just pulling around a Dyson down the street.
I wear it as a necklace. It's got a hole in the middle.
Just a large bracelet.
Just sling it over her shoulder.
When it comes to like appliances, it's not as much of a thing because like Dyson stuff is like has the reputation of it being like high quality and going to last for a long time.
Yeah.
So a lot of times like appliances, if you kind of go for the main brand name because you're hoping for it to last you a long time or have like reliable repair.
You're buying it for the quality and the service, ideally.
Appliances also don't really fall out of fashion. They don't have like that artificial like lifespan.
You have a vacuum cleaner. Nobody's been like paying attention to vacuum cleaners for like the last 10 years. That's out of style.
Where's the Roomba?
Where's the Roomba?
Like it doesn't happen with anything else though. Like you get a really nice brand like car, and like no matter what year model you get, it's still like, you mention it. It's like, it's a 1992 whatever. It's like, and they
really know
be like
your cars.
Listen, I know nothing. Okay, and it's like, okay, that's cool. But then it's like, you're wearing like 2022 Springs like line of Louis Vuitton. Like, how dare you?
It makes me sick. But that does. I'm glad that I'm seeing more people now around our age, at least, care less and less about name brand stuff, or even about things that are quote unquote in season or out of season. Like, I do see more people around our age wearing things that they just genuinely like because they like it, and it doesn't really, they don't care about like trends.
Well, you want to know a really interesting observation? So what we perceive as like old people's clothing, because people are creatures of habit, right?
Yes.
So you have the stuff that you were comfortable wearing, that you liked to wear, that you were like, this is fine wearing it, right? You pretty much maintain that your entire life. So the whole time you're not choosing like, I'm going to wear this because I'm older now. So when we're watching movies, like old movies, and it's like, you can tell like it's an older movie because look, these guys are wearing sweater vests and stuff, and like only old men wear sweater vests and such. No, that was what the youth wore.
They carried that fashion with them into their old age.
With them. That's why you think it looks old, because they've just been maintaining that and like wearing what they like to wear.
That took me a hot second. I don't know though, because if I think about what I wore as a child versus what I wear now, I'm definitely much more fashion forward.
Yeah,
now.
But think of like what you were once you like hit the age where you make your decisions on like what clothing you want to wear and what you feel comfortable in, right? And then you maintain that forward, right?
Okay, then I guess it would be good to see like what I wear 20 years from now. That
Yeah.
would be more accurate to what I've maintained.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
see.
cannot wait for the generation of pensioners in like parachute pants with electric tape. Oh my god, I need the hard stylers to just grow up, please. I want to see it.
I do too. That you've given me something to look forward to. I'm trying to think. I don't think I own any name brand clothing stuff either. I do have. Wait, no. No, I refuse to say it. Never mind. Moving on.
Wow.
Moving on. I refuse to say it.
Wow.
I refuse to say it.
Say it. We've said it. We've said ours. We've said our piece. Harune, you gotta say it.
Yeah, but no
Say
one
it.
else. No, what do you mean? Was it embarrassing for you to admit 90% of your closet is Old Navy?
It wasn't until you made fun of me for
I
it.
didn't make fun of you for it. I make fun of my family member for it.
Haha, Kai wears Old Navy.
Old Navy's for middle school teenage
That's okay.
children.
I have stuff from Old Navy. I just buy my sweatpants are from Old Navy because they're baggy and comfortable.
My sweatpants are from Mark's Warehouse.
What is that?
It's like a really like
Mark's is like
It's
a
like
big and
a-
tall blue collar worker.
heavy duty kind of like more like construction-y type clothes. You've got like the high vis vests. You've got like
Yeah.
the thick jeans,
Construction
The
sweatpants.
big boots.
the big
And
boots.
they do have really, really comfy sweats though. It's like super duper soft.
My main problem is the fact that I'm very large. A lot of like the name brand stores around here don't actually carry clothes in my size.
Well, yeah, because they cater to by the
The-
same reason with their advertising, they only want people that fit within a certain demographic to wear their clothing because that continues the illusion of the brand being highbrow and only for fancy people.
Exactly. So it's like it's the fact that like a lot of like the clothes don't fit me, so I can't really shop in the name brand stores, which is really sad because we recently had like a couple of Moogies open in our city, and Moogies is like a Japanese brand, which is like not super high class, but still they make it sound foreign and high class here because we're not in Japan.
Is it like Uniqlo?
Yeah, we also have Uniqlo's. We had Uniqlo's open up.
Dude, dang.
And people treat it like it's super high brand, and I'm just like, it's Uniqlo. What do you mean? It's like Japanese Old Navy.
It's true. It's true.
But no, people
It
would
really
mock
is.
blue Old Navy wearers and then be like, I'm wearing that Uniqlo fit, and I'm like, good for you.
No, you're right. You're right.
But the problem there is that's like all very Japanese sizes, so it's like my clothing options are very limited.
Actually, it's interesting you say that because that's what I was afraid of. So there is no Uniqlo in my state at all. The closest is Chicago. So the last time I went there, I did end up going to a Uniqlo. I actually bought a couple of articles of like work clothes from there, but I was so scared because the last several times I've been in Asia, like they don't sell things that fit me. Because I'm way too tall. And my my chest is bigger than the shirts will allot for. So I was afraid that same kind of like sizing issue would translate through Uniqlo.
Yep.
But surprisingly, like what I would have thought, like the sizing that normally I would go for like Western sizing actually was too big on me.
Wow.
So like for example, there was a skirt I bought that I grabbed one medium and then I just grabbed a small just in case. Like I was so certain that the medium was going to be the size that fits me because I'm usually a medium for anything that I wear like waist and below. The medium sat too low. And then I went small and it fit perfect. And I was like, what is this? Like have they like swung too far? Like is the pendulum
Uniqlo
swung
for
too far?
giants.
I know, like what's happening? So it was just really interesting. I didn't find that they had the Asian sizing issue for me. But
Yeah.
it is also because I think now Uniqlo is an international supplier
Brand?
Is that can I say brand or supplier? I don't know how else to put that,
brand, international brand.
but yeah, so I'm sure like if I were to go to Uniqlo in Japan, I would have that sizing issue, but because I went to a Uniqlo in the States, that was not so much the problem. But
Asian clothing sizes always make me feel so like self-conscious.
yes. Oh
'Cause
my
I'm
god.
like-
I refuse to go shopping when
Like
I'm in Asia for clothes.
Like,
Free
a lot of the
size.
stores,
For
a
who?
lot of a lot of the sizes here, like a lot of the stores, kind of cap out at 2XL.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely you'll find clothes that are 3XL, and 2XL's just it's too short for me, and like the shoulders aren't broad enough because I'm like not just tall, I'm like pretty broad too.
Mm.
So if the store has a 3XL, that's like a gamble. Like, is it a good 3XL or is it like a still not quite there 3XL?
Like way too wide versus not long enough.
Something like that, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Asian sizes, I'm like a 5 or a 6XL. It's stupid.
Oh no! And then you're like, I swear, like I'm not obese. I promise. Like I'm just tall and large.
They're
Help me.
ironically though, one of the few stores I can comfortably shop in is Vans Off the Wall.
I have no idea what that is.
It is a skateboarder clothing brand. Because all these skateboarders really like clothes that are really loose and
Yes!
baggy.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh!
So like the t-shirts that would hang off a skateboarder like a dress actually fit me quite comfortably.
That's actually incredible. I love that for you.
So I do have an odd amount of Vans Off the Wall like clothes in my wardrobe, even though I don't skateboard.
That's honestly great. Like when you can find a brand that makes their clothes perfect for you. You just like
But
never want to buy
in
anything
the unintentioned fit, like it's supposed to be a baggy tee,
that's a
and for me it's like a form-fitting tee, and it's like, oh, this is okay actually.
no, that's perfect though. That's
Hmm.
whether it was intentional or unintentional. The fact that you can find a clothing line that's like your perfect fit is like the holy grail.
Yeah.
perfect.
So my closet's like 80% Old Navy, 20% Vans.
Well, okay, well you said 90% earlier, so you're gonna have to get your story straight.
I'm exaggerating.
Wow.
Get your stats right.
There's an
And then we'll
there's an
talk.
unknown percentage of clothes that are just weird custom like merch print t-shirts from friends.
Aw, that's sweet. DM, do you
I
have any
missed out on-
sizing? Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Kai.
Oh, I was just gonna say I missed out on buying the DM jacket and now I'm mad.
Oh no. Speaking of DM, do you have any? Because I know you're a small cat.
I'm short.
You are short,
Small.
cat girl. So do you
So-
have sizing issues?
I do in Japan. Like, well, with normal clothing, so I can't buy anything normal clothing for me because I am quite short. So I have to go to the petite section, and even then, a lot of the times the lengths of the sleeves are too long, or the shoulders aren't in the right
no.
spot, or the pants are too long, and I have to like roll them up or hem them myself. And then when I was in Japan, it was great because the lengths were correct. But what wasn't great is that I am very white.
Yeah.
I have German genetics.
That's right.
I require some spacing for blouses.
Yes.
And Japan expects you to be like a pancake. So that was the battle that I had to fight. I many times like having to sew Velcro onto like the buttons strips or like having safety pins and such so that it didn't turn into some embarrassing result. Yeah, but the problem is that I'm
and that must have been tough because you were living and working in Japan.
yeah,
So-
I was living and working there, so I had to like
Mhm.
I had to I will say that like when it wasn't super duper hot, it was when it was hot, it was when it was a problem because I was allowed to wear short sleeve blouses, and that was when it was like, okay, I don't want to have layers to cover stuff up
right.
because it's gonna be extra warm. So I would sew Velcro on in between some of the buttons just to avoid issue. Velcro put in some good work. But when
Thank God for Velcro.
When it wasn't like super warm or anything, I wore a lot of cardigans.
Love cardigans.
Yeah, because they would fit and everything, and then it wouldn't matter if the buttons were have an issue because cardigans on top, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Wow.
yeah. Yep. That's
I-
for me normally, yeah, that's what the main issue is I'm just like I'm short and then
Short and I
German.
require more space.
short and require some spacing.
A
I
lot of my
wonder-
friends. Oh, sorry, you go first.
Okay, just real quick. I remember seeing this a couple of years ago, maybe a handful of years ago. It was an article, I think, in a magazine about marshmallow girls. Are you familiar with that term?
Yes.
No.
So it is like essentially plus size Japanese female models.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes.
Which I think is
I
just the
have heard of
cutest
them.
name for them. Like,
Yeah.
it just makes them seem so like snuggly. And
I think
sweet and
the
cute.
opposite, or not the opposite. I think the male counterpart was Manju boys.
That's also awesome, though. I love that. But I do wonder, because I haven't really heard about it since. I'm curious if it's become a little bit more mainstream, and if now, because like, for example, if I go to my local grocery store, like, you know, if I'm looking through the clothing section, clothing section,
time.
I often find myself like wandering over to like a clothing rack that has all of these clothes that I'm like, oh, these are cute. Like, I'd actually wear these and I could wear them to work. And then I check and it's, you know, large, extra large, 2XL, 3XL. And then, you know, but I find that the issue majority of times I actually can't find clothing styles that are also my size because they're almost too large. And I almost wonder if like that's a little bit more common in Asia now. Because like the last time we've been there, it's been difficult to find things in our size. Right? Just because we are not built like petite, tiny, you know, your standard female Asian body type. So I wonder like if marshmallow girls and manju boys have been on the rise since the last time I saw that article, and if like their clothing lines have been a little bit more widely distributed. I'd be curious to see that. And if anyone knows about that, you can comment.
I'll check.
Yes. Because I haven't thought about marshmallow girls in like an age. So.
I'm not a big fan of clothing shopping to begin with, so I don't like not having to worry about it in Asia. It's like, I know nothing's gonna fit me anyways. I don't have to waste time shopping
Kai
for
saw
clothes.
Kill la Kill and he was like, you know what, nudist beach is the ideal.
I spent 2 weeks in Japan and I found exactly 2 shirts that fit me in all of Japan.
No.
So I just Googled marshmallow girls, and looking at some of the images. No, these aren't. I was about to say these aren't plus size models, but I think it depended on the picture I was looking at. Also, do not Google marshmallow girls and then just hit images because
oops.
I mean some of them are like appropriate. Like some of them I'm like, okay, I can see.
I think I know exactly which image you're talking about. Oh boy. What have you done?
No, don't do it.
But yeah, like growing up in a very Asian neighborhood, I find a lot of my friends have like the opposite problem to DM. In that, shockingly, I also grew up around a lot of very petite body-sized Asian girls. And that's how I learned that fashion tape is a thing.
Oh yeah.
Because
yes,
a lot of the Western like articles of clothing are not designed for Asian body types. There's too much fabric going on.
Too much space.
Yeah, so I very vividly remember going downtown with some friends and just in like the subway, like while we were riding down the subway, like the girls all just like started pulling out rolls of fashion tape from their purses and were like fixing their clothes to their body as we were just riding down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was like they had to like tape their like thigh-high socks to their thighs. They had to like reach over their shoulders to tape the back of their shirts to like their shoulder blades. It was like,
oh no.
It was a whole
at least
thing.
Okay, with the thigh highs though, that's something that's in Japan as well.
I'm guessing that's where they picked up the practice from, but it was so weird just watching them like tape all of their clothes to their body to get it to like fit better.
To sit the way that they want it to.
Exactly. It's like such an opposite problem from what I've always had. It's like it was kind of like I never considered that this was a problem for people until I saw it happen.
Yeah, I usually just would like, because I know how to sew. like just fit your clothing to yourself properly and then like sew it.
I get that. Yeah, it is, and it is good to know how to mend your own clothes. Like, that's a skill that will never die.
Yep.
You will always need that.
Yep, I've been gradually hemming my IKEA curtains because the like IKEA curtains are just so freaking long. And I've just been gradually, like, when I have a moment, because I have to get the stepladder, of course, to take the poles down. And then I just do the thing and it's all good.
See, there's so much that you can do when you've got that skill. I typed in Japanese Marshmallow Girls clothes 2023. The most I've seen, it seemed like Marshmallow Girl articles were popular in like 2014, 2015. I'm not seeing anything else about it since. So I'd be curious. I don't know. I'd like to know where to get my hands on some Marshmallow Girl clothes just to see what they're like. What?
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to look it up. I was trying to look it up too, and I came across this article that just says you can now rent heavy-set people in Japan. I'm like, what?
No.
So Japan has this service where you could like rent a person, I guess, for like a period of time to like do certain things with you. They have things that's like, oh, rent a sister, where it's like a lady would act as your sister for the day, kind of like, you know, to emulate a social relationship for people that are suffering from like loneliness, or like rent a friend, or like rent a company. So they're like, I do know a lot of times it's common that when somebody has to go make a public apology for like something they messed up in, they would like rent someone to go with them so that it looks more sincere when there's more people going to apologize. Or like if they have like a thing where they have to go receive an award and no family is there to congratulate them, they'll rent someone to go and be their +1 kind of thing. And I just came across this article that said you can now rent heavy-set people in Japan. It's like, why would people want to do that? And then like some customer quotes in the article was just like, I want help eating one of those crazy large portion challenges in a restaurant. I'm doing cosplay and I want someone to cosplay the bigger character next to me. And one person just said, I want someone to play on the seesaw with me.
Oh my gosh. That's so wholesome though. Like they just at least it's not like I want someone who comparatively can make me feel better.
Oh no, there is that too. Like, one person said, I want someone to stand by me when I take photos so I look thinner.
No! Okay, I hate that. That's cruel. That's terrible.
That's a little bit.
That's a bit,
I was just about to say, look how nice all of these people are. Like, I just want someone to eat with and we're going to eat a lot together. Or I want someone to cosplay with and I just want us to look like, you know, canonically accurate. But no, now someone's like, I want to look thin by comparison. That's terrible. I don't like that. Poop to that person. Get dunked on. Jerk. Anyway.
Oh, I did find another article about Marshmallow Girls specifically, though.
Oh, did you? What year?
From 2014.
See, yeah, I found a couple articles, 2014, 2015, but I guess there hasn't been any articles written recently? Given
Apparently,
the 2020s? Yes?
There is a Japan's first fashion magazine for plus-size girls called La Farfa.
Okay.
They, in 2014, tried to get away from the name Marshmallow Girls.
Oh.
By debuting a new term, which is kind of ridiculous.
What is the term?
They introduced the term Oshakawa Teri.
What was wrong with Marshmallow Girls?
It's a breakdown. Osha comes from oshare, which means fashionable. Kawa comes from kawaii, and teri comes from teri.
Their huggability.
Yeah, so I think there was an effort to get away from Marshmallow Girls for whatever reason.
Oh no, but I thought that term was cute. They had like the perfect like mental image, but this Oshakawa Teri just makes me confused.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
It is. It is. It is not as cute as Marshmallow Girls. I'm sorry. But if that term is now offensive, I am sorry for saying it so many times because I just don't know any better, I guess. Please forgive my ignorance. But
also, these are pictures of very normal looking girls. Like, they do not look.
That's what I was saying. Like, when I looked under Google Images, like, at first I was like, these look normal. Like normal, everyday sized people to me. Like, these don't seem particularly large. And then as I scrolled down, I was like, okay, no, I can see how this would appropriately apply. And then we got into some gratuitous art. But anyway, as you will on the internet. But yeah, I hope to see more diversity in Asian clothing sizes and ranges in the future. I'm hopeful to see that one day. But
I mean, like, this is the picture of the models they have for quote unquote chubby girls.
Yep.
They're no what?
That in Japan standards, yes.
Oh, see, this makes me feel self-conscious all over again.
Yep.
Oh, these girls are cute.
Yep, that would have been considered.
Like, okay, yeah, they have at least meat on their bones.
Yes.
I can give them that much, but
that's what it is. They have meat on their bones. They're healthy.
Yeah, I would not even go so far as to call them plump.
No.
They're like very normal looking sized girls, and they're being marketed as chubbiness in Japan.
Oh, no.
Welcome to Japan standards. There was a trend for a while during like COVID times where girls would hold up so there's like letter size paper is what we commonly use in North America, but then A4 is the other one that they use, where you would hold an A4 paper in front of your torso to show that you are not whiter than that piece of paper.
Yep, I saw that. There's also a skinny girl walking, which was like this. I don't know if it was TikTok, probably because that's owned by China, right? Where it would be these TikToks of girls, really thin girls walking down the street, and then they would just like try to squeeze in between as narrow of a space as they could. Yeah. So whether it was between like a person and the wall, and they would just like turn sideways really quick, like, oh, just coming through, but like to accentuate how thin they were in their midsection. It was actually really like cringe. And I don't even think it's genuine. Like, it looks heavily filtered to me.
It probably is filtered because a lot of the TikTok video ones with like the people with very unnatural proportions have been highly filtered, but the paper one was definitely one that was yeah.
Ugh.
That's a little bit much.
That's Asian trends for you, I guess. Just a little bit much.
Yep.
And unhealthy. But anyway, I'm so sorry. Kai, what was your topic?
Oh, I'm going to bring it back to last week then. We had a tangent last week that I was kind of interested in.
Okay.
So we've all played D&D.
Yes.
And we were about to get into like stories of our critical successes and failures.
Oh, wow.
And I've been thinking about it all week.
Oh gosh.
Oh, but that's good. You were excited.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people these days know what D&D is, but it is like tabletop role-playing game of make-believe with like swords and sorcery and knights and dragons and adventures and stuff.
Yep, and your successes depend on dice
rolls. Yes. I always try to explain it to first-timers as it's like collaborative storytelling.
That's pretty accurate, I would say.
Yeah, you have like a player who's the DM, the dungeon master, not the girl DM. And they kind of dictate how the story goes, and then all the players dictate their reactions to the world. But like you said, their successes and their failures are based on dice rolls. They roll a 20-sided dice. The higher they roll, the more likely they are to succeed. And there's a phenomenon called Nat 1 and Nat 20. If you naturally roll a 1, it's almost always a critical failure of whatever you're trying to do. And you roll a natural 20, it's almost always a critical success, even if it's near impossible, which leads to some pretty funny things. And since we've all had experience playing this, I kind of wanted to hear everyone's favorite D&D stories. Their best critical success or failure stories.
Oh, I've got a good one.
I can think of a few too. But...
Okay, so like the one like crit like good one that I can remember that has happened with me, because most of the time my dice rolls are mid or horrible. I've had quite a few critical fails, but there's we were playing a casual session during one of the family sessions, and I had a character that she had a familiar, and she had a ferret as a familiar.
Oh, cute.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was I think she was a magician, and the ferret was her familiar. And if you have a familiar, you can, depending on how smart your familiar is, ferrets aren't that smart, you can instruct them to go do things for you.
Yes.
So the ferret could like fetch, the ferret could investigate things. The ferret could attack, but not very strongly. And so we were exploring this, like, there was a camp of like kobolds or something that had set up and was terrorizing this village, and so we had to go out into the forest and find the kobolds and everything. And while we're out there, we find this big old stone structure, and it has these like falling apart statues and everything. And so I send my ferret to investigate one of the statues, and I rolled a 20 on the check for the ferret.
Nice.
Critical was just like a critical success, and it turned out that this statue was a deity.
Oh,
and it blessed my ferret.
Ooh.
So I had this god-blessed ferret that was like under the protection of this deity and got like very cool attack powers, and was like had it was very hard for the parrot to get injured because it was blessed by this deity. And we actually wound up like during one of the final fights, like I sent the ferret in to go and attack and everything. And it was highly successful and really entertaining because I rolled the 20 and the DM is like,
I guess the world is this ferret's oyster now.
Hereby known as the demigod fur noodle, demon slayer.
Yep. And so, but unfortunately that run, all of our characters wound up getting killed at the end because of one of the other family members was a kenku, and kenku are these bird people.
Yes.
And they can only, well, nowadays they have like stuff that's changed, but the person that was playing the kenku decided to follow the OG kenku rules, which is that they can only reproduce what they have heard before. So we were inside of the king's armory, which was underground, and it had been pillaged, and there was only like a deck of cards left, and it was the deck of many things, which
the deck of many things.
We all got to draw 3 cards. And the kenku got a card that was a wish, and the kenku wished for all the riches in the world right here, but we were all underground. So all of the riches in the world were teleported into this tiny space. And we got turned into squish.
Oh no.
Yeah, so all of us died in the party, and the king.
Oh my god. Oh
no.
Except the kenku just prior to that had gotten an immortality wish. So the kenku is like paste but sentient.
Forever trapped in just
forever trapped in this like tiny underground area. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yup.
Incredible.
Oh no.
So that was my story.
Wow.
A good story.
I love like D&D stories, especially when you have like you have no context of the background or anything like that of whatever campaign they're playing, but it's just you hear the wildest things like demigod blessed ferret and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah, right.
My ferret's been blessed by the gods. You have no idea.
I do have a story for like a critical success and a critical failure for 2 different characters from 2 different campaigns.
Okay.
The success story, I guess. I had a campaign once where I was just the team muscle. Like I was playing the heavily armored Asmar guy. It was like basically all of my points went into just like strength. I was just a wall of muscle, but dumb as a brick. And one of our party members, we were investigating like the secret tower or whatever, and they activated a trap where the entire party was teleported 6,000 feet in the air.
Oh no.
And then just left to free fall.
No.
And for people that don't know, like when it comes to free fall, there is certain spells you can cast, like feather fall, which like have the speed that you fall and have the damage you take from fall damage. But there is a fall damage rule, and 6,000 feet is basically guaranteed death for everyone.
It happens in the real world too.
Yep. We had a sorcerer who had a shapeshift spell, and they turned themselves into a bird. Good for them. They saved themselves by turning into a bird.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, we had another like warlock or something who had like a shrinking spell, so they shrank themselves to be small enough to be carried by the bird.
Okay.
So they were fine as well. So it was just me and the paladin left, who were left to our own devices.
All right.
And oh no, I think it was me and the monk. It was me and the monk.
No one saved the monk?
The monk tried to roll like an acrobatics check, saying they'll like catch themselves in the trees and like acrobat their way down. And I'm like, it's 6,000 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And the DM was like, correct, roll. And they're like, listen, a 19 is not even going to save you. They rolled, they failed, they were skewered by a tree.
Oh no.
I rolled a nat 20 on top of my ridiculous just strength.
Oh my god.
And they're like, well, we can't have it so you don't take any damage. So apparently after like just falling 6,000 feet, my guy just superhero landed punching the ground and took
Like
4
Hulk.
damage.
Wow.
4 damage.
They're like, yeah, you tweaked an ankle on the way down. I was like, oh god.
Oh my goodness.
They're like, it's unheard of. Nobody could survive like 100 feet drop, and you survive 6,000 with like barely any damage to you.
That's amazing.
Sweet blessings on that nat 20.
But I had another character who was technically an elven bard, but I had modeled them after a Japanese idol pop star, basically. It's like, what's your instrument? Song and dance. I only wear frilly outfits and like perform really poppy hits.
Noise.
And for whatever reason, the team was sent to mediate like a meeting between like 2 envoys of 2 countries that were at war with each other.
Okay.
And it sounded like things were about to go really bad. So the plan was for the Goliath on our team to basically do the fastball special with me.
The fastball special.
Or was it called the fastball special? What's the thing the Wolverine does with Colossus?
I have no idea.
Basically, they were going to pick me up and throw me through a window, and I was just going to like fly in singing and dancing to like stop people from fighting.
Incredible.
Yeah, they rolled a nat 1.
Oh no!
They threw me into a den of wolves, and I got eaten.
Oh no.
But that wasn't your role.
No, but just, it was really funny thinking that there was a J-pop idol falling out of the sky into a den of wolves and was just immediately eaten.
Oh no.
Like, I had no chance to save myself.
But like, didn't that upset you at the time? Like, you caused me to die. My character is dead now.
I think the situation, the mental image of it was enough to keep me from being too upset.
Well, that's very nice of you. I would have been mad.
They pitched me right into the wolves' den. I'm like, oh.
I've been like, well, you killed me, so bring me back now.
It turns out 18 charisma is not very useful against 6 wolves.
Yeah, no.
Well, you could have sang them a song and did a little dance, and maybe you could have danced your way out of that cave, but...
Yeah, they weren't a fan of J-pop, so...
Unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky. Unfortunately, it's been so long since I last played. So I've only ever played 2 D&D campaigns, and both were over a year ago. Maybe even 2 years ago. So I actually have zero recollection if I've ever done anything amazing on a nat 20 or ate dirt with a nat 1. Like, I don't recall at all. So I have no stories to share. I'm so sorry.
Heck.
That's
But
fine.
We heard some amazing stories already, so I don't think anybody's at a loss here.
It is a bit of a niche topic, I realize, but ever since we brought it up last week, I'm like, I kind of want to hear this. I love.
No, I love that, and I think plenty of people. I mean, it's how do I say this? Like, we're probably you don't really have to go very far to find someone who's played or at least knows of D&D. Right, and having a campaign story to tell of some maneuver they've pulled that comes in clutch or some epic fail is, you know, everyone's gonna have those stories.
Yeah,
mine just happen to be buried deep within. So
because I do occasionally peruse this little website called Reddit, and one of my favorite subreddits to go on is called D&D Green Text.
What is green text in reference to?
Green text is it's a long story, but basically it's like silly D&D stories that they post like from different people's campaigns. Okay. And so I really enjoy listening to people's D&D stories with like no context of whatever campaign they're doing.
Yeah.
Like DM, you know the story of Sir Barrington, right?
Sir Barrington?
I don't know about Sir Barrington. I know the one that I used to laugh over was the ones when they found out that the orc that they were killing, it was his last day before retirement, and he had like 3 kids he was trying to put through college.
No!
Oh no!
So the party like was mortified after that, and the rest of their adventure, they sent a percentage of all of the gold they got back to this orc's kids.
Oh no! That's so sad.
I just remember reading it sometime. I don't remember where it was, but I read through this whole thing and I was just like laughing super duper hard, like because they were all mortified after they discovered all the stuff about this guy, right?
Oh no!
Kill the livelihood, man.
Because Sir Barrington's like a really really famous D&D green text story. Quite old. I think it's like 2010 it came out, but I keep going back to reread it because it's so good. But basically, like DM said, like you could have an animal companion. She had a ferret. There's this one player who was a druid who had a bear as his companion.
Like Trinket.
And through his magic, he decided to skill up the bear as a rogue. So the bear had like an absurdly high disguise skill. And they kept buying magic items to put on the bear that would increase its disguise skill.
Okay.
And so they had a in-campaign time skip. And Meat Fists the Bear Rogue resurfaced as Mr. Barrington, a gentleman of high society, wearing specially tailored bear-sized suits and a monocle. And his disguise and charisma were so high that whenever he roared as a bear, the NPCs around him just thought it was a heavily accented aristocrat.
Oh, goodness.
So they had to infiltrate like a party for high society, and the bear was like the guest of honor.
Oh my god.
Until like this one NPC had like a miraculous like nat 20 like perception roll and just started shouting like, "Oh my god, that's a bear!" like in the middle of the party. And then like every other NPC failed the check, so they just dragged away that guy as if he was like a nutter. So, "I'm so sorry, Sir Barrington. Nothing like this has ever happened before." And it's the bear's just like, "Rrr." It's like, "Oh, I assure you, we do not tolerate that sort of behavior."
That's so good. Oh my god. That's got to be one of the most like beloved things about D&D is just how flexible the world can become with your roles.
Yeah. I'm just gonna post the story here for you guys to read at your leisure, but it's so funny.
Thank you, because I might end up putting that in the description. Oh my god, that's a bear! That's a giant bear. Silence would roll through the ballroom. Don't any of you see it? That is a giant bear in a suit. That's great. Well, now that makes me
Mr.
like...
Barrington is a pillar of our community, and he will not suffer the slander and mudslinging of you nincompoops.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. Just keep posting, people. If you've got stories to share, put it in this Reddit thread. Share your stories with the world. But yeah. I love your guys' stories, though. I love the God-blessed ferret.
Yes, my ferret. I love my ferret.
We love your ferret now, too.
Although the ferret is dead.
We can still love it in post.
Gold coin paste.
Gold coin paste, yep.
Why would you say that? But
Yep.
anyway, friends, do you guys have any announcements to make as we wrap up today?
No, but I think I'm pretty good.
Nothing more than the usual. Yeah.
What is your usual announcement then?
No, I mean, like, I'm not doing anything other than the usual, so nothing.
Okay.
Nothing special.
You're like,
Not
just my
this
usual
one.
announcement. I don't think I have much of an announcement either. Just stay tuned for the last episode, season 3, episode 10. To be honest, I don't think we have anything special lined up.
I mean, like, do we usually do announcements at the end of these? I mean, like, these come out like weeks later. So.
It's true, but I mean,
fine. It's fine.
Or you know what? Girl DM, as of the day of recording, which is March 5th, Girl DM, you just recently came out with a song cover.
I did.
That was yesterday.
I really want to stay at your house. Yes.
Yes.
Man,
It was not
see how hard I can cry.
It was Friday, sir.
It was so good. I still
You're
have
right.
yet
It's
to
Sunday
see
today. It's Sunday today.
I have yet to see Cyberpunk Edgerunners, but I really enjoyed that cover.
Thank
Even just
you.
like fresh. Having
Thank you.
no context. I really liked it.
I was very anxious. I was barely eating the entire week because I was so anxious because that's the first time I've done like a cover and I have no official like singing training outside of drinking at bars and then deciding I can sing in front of the microphone. So it was very much an anxiety inducing experience. And like I sent it to friends before and they're like, "No, you're great. I swear I would tell you if it was bad." And me sitting here like, "But would you really?"
So tell me I'm bad then. Tell me.
Tell me I'm horrible.
I mean, it is timely that there's also a trend going around right now called Singing March.
Oh yeah.
Which is like one of those like
where people
Arttober
practice singing all the
things.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got like 31 prompts for the 31 days of March for you to do like a little song or whatever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been just having fun with that. Like I'm not doing any professional covers or anything. I'm just like singing over YouTube videos, but it's been kind of fun.
I saw the prompt and I saw like the whole list of like all the songs for every day and I thought it was so cute. I love this idea. I love
it's just like Arttober but with singing.
Yes, and they do the same with May as well, like Mermay.
Yeah.
Where like every day you draw a different mermaid. And I love that. Like I actually get really excited for like monthly themed stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't ever participate, but I love being
It's cool
like,
to
the casual
see it,
observer.
right?
Yes. It delights my eyes and ears.
It is an effort to participate though.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Especially Inktober.
Yeah, like that one was like, oh, I have to dedicate like 2 hours a day drawing.
Yeah, I've never successfully completed an Inktober. I've tried though.
I did once. I did just once.
Do you think that would be like a long-term goal that you'd want to complete sometime in your life?
Someday, yeah.
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 I drew 31 VTubers one October.
I do remember that, yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, so look for Girl DM's first song cover on her YouTube channel.
It should be on Spotify. By the time this goes up, it should be on Spotify and other streaming.
That's so
good.
exciting.
It's so good.
It is good. It is good. Just even for like a casual listener, even if you've never seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners like me, you can still enjoy it.
You can
love
enjoy
it.
a song.
Yes. And then you can also enjoy Kai singing over on his Twitter where he's been posting a song every day in March.
No. Compared to what
Kai's
DM's
gonna catch up and he's gonna be singing a song. He's posting it every day in March. You should definitely check out his Twitter.
Yeah.
Compared to DM and
You
the
should
very
definitely
emotional
check out Kai
song
on
that you put
Twitter
out.
with his singing.
The three
Listen
songs
to
I've put
Kai's
out
March
so far.
singing.
No. The 3 songs I've put out so far is Bakamitai,
Nice.
Mind Fight by Tom Cardy,
Yeah.
and
You wanted to do
And
a smoking rude boy.
the Wendy's hot drinks training video.
Timeless classics, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But
Everyone else is doing like Vocaloid songs or like J-pop songs or like all these super emotional ballads, and I'm picking like all the worst songs.
Just do what you enjoy.
and that's
Nothing
what
wrong with
I
that.
enjoy as a content consumer.
Yeah, but no, do go check out DM's cover of "I Really Want to Stay in Your Head." It's so good.
It is really, really good, and the art is cute too.
Yeah,
Fucking
no,
it.
it's really
we
cute.
really
I
need
like
to.
the
We really need to
artist
watch Cyberpunk. We really
Yeah, we do. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to record with me and anyone out there.
Yeah.
If you've taken the last hour and 40 minutes to listen, also big appreciate. And we'll see you for the final episode of season 3. So until then, それでは皆さん、またね。
Bye bye.